You see this very screen right here? Do you see this? This is the very screen that I come up to whenever I open the app after, I think, a few hours today, after play practice, right? So, I just get done with play practice, and this is the screen that I come home to. Even though just a few hours ago, we still had the hearts. Um, I think Apple users have had it for a lot longer, but, yeah, it's official. Energy is released to all devices now. So, um, Energy has finally came out for Androids. And I'm about to tell you guys how I brutally feel about this new update for Duolingo and how good it actually is. Is it a good update or is it terrible? We'll discuss it in just a moment. So, as you guys can see here, I'm casually doing my German lessons on Duolingo. I normally do Spanish on Duolingo, but I didn't do it this time because I had a listening exercise, so I was just waiting for the triple XP the next morning to do it. But anyways, so in this few clips here, I'm kind of just showing you guys how the energy works on Duolingo, like for people who are or still have not gotten the update yet. This is kind of how the energy works. And I'm pretty sure everybody at this point has gotten the update with the energy, and that energy is available on all platforms and devices now. I'm not sure about computer, I have not checked yet, but I will check eventually if energy has also come to computers on Duolingo. Anyways, today we're going to be discussing energy. Is it a good update? Is it a bad update? This is one of the most questionable updates I think Duolingo has ever done on their app platform. And normally most of their updates I'm not technically as finicky about. I have talked about one of their updates in the past with the XP being rigged and stuff, but that's a different video and you guys can go watch that at some point in time, but this is not for today's discussion. Today we're going to be discussing the energy. Now, as you can see here, the energy is already like kind of in between 20 and 10. It shows 1 on my screen, but it's technically supposed to be showing like a range between 10 and 19 energy. However, to tell if it's actually 1 or 10 and 19 is really complicated when you're doing just a general lesson. This is from one lesson alone, from a fully charged energy of 25. It's already drained like a pretty good amount of my energy, and it's weird because the energy drains all the time. It doesn't matter if you get an answer correct or incorrect, it's constantly draining as you use the app. Like, if you use the app and you still get a problem correct, you're still going to run out of energy regardless. And I'm just kind of showing you what happens if you don't fill up on energy with these two things of German lessons. And so basically, what I've statistically seen here is that energy drains a lot from German lessons. And and basically, well, technically language lessons in general, because it's done it with Spanish too, but with my language courses, it drains constantly as you're doing the lesson. Like, if it's still correct, it's draining one thing of energy every time you get something correct. It will drain more energy if you get something incorrect. So basically, there's no escaping to it being a win-win. As it's technically not a win-win, it's a lose-lose on both sides. And it's really aggravating to users. I feel like people would be super aggravated with this update. I don't know how you guys actually feel about it. Do you guys prefer the energy or prefer the hearts? Discussion in the comments. What do you guys think about this update? Because I am personally not really happy with this one, and I know a lot of people are also not happy with this one. So, this has been a discussion I've been waiting to have for a little while, but this update makes me so mad because it doesn't matter if you do a music lesson, a chess lesson, or even a freaking language lesson. You're still draining energy even if you get a problem or an answer correct. The music course, when it comes to energy, is not as bad. It only drains like 1 thing of energy for every music lesson that you do. Well, that's for daily refresh, of course. In general lessons, I don't actually know how much Duolingo drains the music, because I finished up my music course. Chess, it'll drain a pretty good amount of energy. However, I feel like for chess, it actually is useful to have the energy compared to having the hearts, because I suck at chess, and I feel like chess is not the best course, especially if you're a beginner at chess and you don't even know how to actually play the game and you make a wrong move. Your hearts would drain. And, well, this is from a Samsung user. I don't actually know about Apple users, but from a Samsung user who still had the hearts at the time of getting the chess course, the hearts would drain if you got a thing wrong for each chess move that you would do with Oscar. And it took out, I think, pretty much all of my hearts while using chess, which is why I think the energy is better in terms of chess. But in other terms, it's not better. It's actually worse. Like, it constantly drains. However, there are some advantages I have found to having energy. First of all, if you do get a 5 or a 10 in a row in a language lesson, or even sometimes in chess, I'm not sure about math. Math, I'm pretty sure, would drain at a pretty good amount, though. But if you were to do a chess lesson and you were to get something right, like a 5 or a 10 in a row, then it'll actually give you more energy as you go on, which is kind of nice. However, if you only get a little bit of energy, then that's not going to be really helpful if you have a really low amount of energy left over to continue a lesson. Because the thing with the energy in the lessons is that, again, it's constantly draining. Doesn't matter if you get the problem right or wrong, it's still draining. However, the only time it doesn't actually drain is whenever you're fixing your mistakes, and that's pretty much it in terms of language lessons. In terms of the listening lessons, as you see here, it still drains. Even if you get something right, it still drains. So it's basically the same pattern for practically every single time. It is constantly draining and losing your energy. And as you can see, I just finished up a Spanish lesson with Lucy here with the chess course. With the Spanish course. I am outside, I'm sorry. I know my speech is not speeching today. But, so basically, as you can see, if you have low energy, it still drains your energy even if you get something correct. And another problem, it is a full hour for 1 thing of energy. Like, I understand with the hearts, but this is absolutely ridiculous. It is an hour for 1 thing of energy, and you have 25 in total. If you lose all your energy, you have to wait a whole day to get it back. And that's really aggravating for learners because, especially with my triple XP in lessons, I don't want to be wasting my triple XP time watching a bunch of ads just to get energy. I want to be using my triple XP time on lessons to actually get the XP I need to gain to go to another lesson. But an advantage is that in legendary lessons and in legendary language lessons, you actually don't have to pay gems to do legendary lessons anymore. However, there is a cost while doing legendary lessons. The energy drains a lot more than in your normal lessons if you use legendary mode. Like, a lot more. It doesn't drain 1, it drains 2 things of energy per question, even if you get it correct. So, if you do legendary lessons, you have to make sure you actually know what you are doing. Unless you have super, then you're pretty much on the safe side. But I'm saying for the free learners on Duolingo, the energy update is absolutely horrible. And I mean, it's nice that you don't have to pay gems for legendary lessons anymore, but honestly, I think I would rather have a set of hearts. Even if I get a mistake wrong, you don't lose hearts as you're learning. Energy, you lose it constantly. And that's just what pisses me off, I think, most about the update. I know I've repeated it so many times, and I'm sorry, I know. It's kind of an aggravating statement at this point, but I'm just trying to express my point here. It's pissing me off that it's doing that. And I didn't expect Duolingo to pull a move like this for when it came to the live system and stuff, but apparently this is how they wanted to do things now. And it's probably one of the most aggravating ways I think I've seen them do stuff like this. It's just terrible. And I mean, the fact that you at least with a legendary lesson can get a great amount of XP without using your gems. You can actually save up more gems now. However, another thing that I did forget to mention is that now when you actually earn a chest while doing language lessons, music lessons, whatever it may be, but actually in particularly it's in language lessons, but once you get to a chest in language lessons now, it's not earning gems anymore, it's earning energy. And I'm actually so serious when I say that. It's not earning gems anymore, it's earning energy. And I think I gained like a few things of energy from the chests now, which is helpful, but I think I would still rather have a thing of gems than energy. But energy is still good in this case scenario because you technically need it to do your lessons now. Like, yeah, you have to be fully stocked on energy. And I can't grind on Duolingo anymore because of this update. Unless I were to have super, I would not be able to grind my lessons anymore. Because I used to constantly grind on the daily with doing my Duolingo. I would do it a lot, constantly. I did it a lot, particularly like at the beginning of November, or no, at the end of November, the beginning of December last year. That's when I started doing Duolingo, is around that time. And I used to grind all the time in Duolingo. Like, I had freaking Spanish, Greek, Italian music. I had it all. And I had Japanese as well, but I didn't do it as much. I actually reset Japanese a few times, but anyways, the point is, I'm sorry, I know I'm dragging this video on for quite a while, but the point is, the energy just sucks. I think personally it is one of the worst updates of all time in this app. I don't know what you guys personally think about it, but let's just go ahead and discuss in the comments now, because I feel like I'm dragging this video on way too long, and I'm sorry for making a point that I've already made like 3 times. So let's discuss in the comments. What are your guys' opinions and thoughts on the update of energy on Duolingo? For users who've had it longer than me, which is most likely Apple users, tell me your guys' thoughts on the update. What do you think? Should Duolingo return to the hearts, or should they stick with their energy? Let's discuss in the comments. And thank you guys for watching Sisters for Life. We will stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video.